truck coming. It's going very, very slow. There's nobody in the left. And you're giving this running commentary so that you are telling the instructor that you know all the details of your surroundings. You know what's in front of you. You know what's in front left, in front right. You know what's directly left, directly right. You know what's directly behind you. You know what's behind you left, behind you right. You have a running commentary, and it keeps going on because those situations change radically. So this success principle is you must be aware of your surroundings. You must be aware of everything. The previous principle was paying attention, being in present time. Stop talking about the past and stop saying what if, which is worrying about and talking about the future in a what if scenario. That's number 5. Number 6 is you got to be aware of your surroundings. You got to be aware of what's going on. It's the next level of paying attention. It's the next level of being in present time. It's being fully aware of what's going on. This is a technique. How do you do it? Practice. Next time you go into a restaurant, look around for a second or two with a friend, observe everything as quickly as you can, and then sit down and say, okay, test me. And then see what your recall is. It's your ability to perceive. Now somebody says, well, how do I do that? Do I just look and take a picture and a snapshot? That's one way. Another way is actually look and call things by name, but that takes a lot longer. Ideally, you're just taking a picture, you're using your camera, your eyes, take a photograph of everything and just re-picture the photograph. If you go through the Mega Memory course, which is available to all gym members, this trains you how to do that and you can become much more proficient. So this is something I would encourage all of you to do. I would encourage you to do 3 mental courses, by the way. Mega Memory, Mega Speed Reading, and Mega Math. Doing all of those 3 are going to exercise your brain and help you become successful because you're mentally doing exercise. So it's going to help you become more proficient at paying attention, focusing, and being aware, which are keys to success. You can't be loopy. You can't be a flake. You can't be, oh, I'm just absent-minded. I'm just kind of forgetful. That's who I am. Okay. And you also will stay broke. You can't be that way. Successful people have sharp minds. They have a great recall ability. They can pay attention. They go to meetings. They can recall what happened in the meeting. You have to work on this. Mega Memory, Mega Speed Reading, and Mega Math, incredibly important. Your ability to pay attention, be in present time, not talk about the past and not say what if about the future, and your ability to be aware of your surroundings and recall the information is going to be a dramatic advantage if you want to succeed. Without these abilities, it's going to be harder. Not impossible, much harder. Number 7, laugh and smile. Very affluent people, very successful people, you don't know them. Most affluent, successful people are not on TV. You don't know them. You haven't met them. You haven't been to their houses. You see movies. You see TV shows. You see a few people like a Donald Trump or something on television once in a while. You're not getting the right impression because you're not seeing what really these people are like. Very affluent, very successful, wealthy people. Surprising as it may seem, smile almost all the time. Oh, when they go into a boardroom, they put on the scowl. General Patton laughed all the time, but he had what was called his war face. So when he was around his subordinates, he had the scowl. He did this on purpose. He understood that he had a job to do in terms of motivating and getting people understanding the seriousness of the situation so that they could focus and have a sense of urgency. But in order to create and manifest, he understood that he couldn't have that on, that he had to smile. Successful people smile all the time. They smile in the face of catastrophe. They smile. So the habit here for you is smile all the time. Get in your car, look in the rearview mirror, smile. Just get into the habit of smiling. Smile, smile, smile all the time. Next, laugh. Get into the habit of laughing. If you can't laugh around people, then get in your car and just start laughing. Laugh by yourself. You should be laughing every day. The more you laugh, the better. This little technique will create one of the fastest changes in your DNA vibration. And it is one technique that'll get rid of negative thoughts easier than anything else. And it's the simplest thing in the world to do. Just laugh throughout the day. Just laugh throughout the day and smile. Number 8, let loose. Dance or sing. You've heard me talk about this. You've heard this on various courses. You see Dr. C do it in person. Letting loose breaks up energy blockages and releases your abilities, allows you to perceive more, consider more, look at more options, and expands your capabilities. When I say let loose, I'll give you a few examples. You're driving in your car and you're on a road where there's no cars to the left and right. Then turn on the radio and start singing and start dancing and start moving your hands around. Of course, keep your hands on the wheel, but start letting loose. If you're home and nobody's there, do a Tom Cruise. Get in your underwear, grab a spoon, make believe it's a microphone, and act like Elvis. Nobody's looking. Mess up your hair. Dance, sing, let loose. Just go a little crazy. Move your physical body, really letting loose, dancing or singing. Moving your physical body and getting sounds out of your mouth are very important. You don't have to show anybody. But if you go to some of the highest level private clubs out there, whether it's a Yale University Skull and Bone meeting, which I've been at, Bohemian Club meetings, which are in the Grove in Northern California. Some people call these, sinister, evil groups. But the fact of the matter is the people involved in these groups, maybe you would consider them evil and sinister. They are outrageously successful, and they've proven to have the ability to manifest. Maybe they're on the dark side, but they still have the ability to manifest. If you go to just a very exclusive country club meetings, or if you go to any high-level group meeting, Masons or whatever, these 67-year-old guys who are billionaires are putting headdresses on, jumping on the table with a lampshade on their head, and not because they're drunk, they're not. Putting a grass skirt on and acting like idiots. They're acting like crazy people, and they're laughing, and it's all clean, good fun. They're letting loose. They understand this is a powerful concept. You should be doing this on a regular basis. You don't have to do it in front of other people. That's not the point. If you do it on your own, that's almost good enough. When you let loose in front of other people, like, we have our major functions. Sometimes we have music at functions and so forth. If you're dancing in the aisle in front of other people, that takes it to a different level, because now you are really expanding your abilities, because your ability to not care what other people think goes up dramatically, which allows you to create more in your life. Very important. Pay attention to what I just said. That was very significant and very important. But the key here is let loose, sing and dance. Let loose. Do it on your own so that nobody sees you. And it's singing and dancing. It's moving your physical body in a crazy way and getting sounds out of your mouth. If you do it in front of other people, it takes it to an even better level. Number 9, escape from reality from time to time. All this means is we just talked about paying attention, being in present time, and being aware of everything. You can't do that 24/7. You'll go insane. So that's why laughing and smiling, that's why letting loose, singing and dancing is all important, and that's why escaping from reality or escaping from present time from time to time is good. How do you do this? You can do it by going to the movies, going to a play. You can do it by just daydreaming, going for a walk in the park and daydreaming. Reading a novel. We talk about reading books, which is so important, but sometimes it's so important not to read one of the books from the basic book list, to take a couple days and go, I'm going to read a novel and go into a different world. Escape from reality. Take you to a different place. It is really an effective, powerful tool. So escaping from reality is either reading a good book, watching a movie, maybe listening to some music and daydreaming, going for a walk, going for a bike ride. But escaping from reality, daydreaming, just getting out of your sense of reality from time to time is very, very important. I do this, and all of the members of the council do this without any schedule at all. We just know when we need it. And we say, I'm going down to Cabo for 2 days. I'm just going to lie in the sun and read a novel. Or, I'm done. I'm toast. I can't go anymore. They canceled everything, canceled all the appointments. Sometimes I get to a point where, nope, I'm toast. I'm going home. I'm going to pull out my Perry Mason DVDs that Brandy gave me, and I'm going to watch Perry Mason all day. Nobody talk to me, leave me alone. I'm just going to escape from reality. Or I'm going to go read a novel for a day. The whole day I'm just going to read the novel, eat, read the novel. So escape from reality. That's number 9. Number 10, get out in nature. Now, getting out in nature could be a form of escaping from reality from time to time because maybe you're daydreaming. But getting out in nature picks up the energy of nature. And it's something that most people don't do on a regular basis. So going for a walk in the park, going for a walk on the beach, going in the mountains, even for a drive, ideally out of your car and in nature, even if it's a few steps and just sitting on a rock and listening to the sounds, you're actually in present time then. See, you can go in nature and daydream and get.
All right, guys, we're going to start at 60 seconds. So get your pens and papers ready. Make that one last invitation. And in 60 seconds, we starting, fam. Let's go.
Out of reality, or you can go in nature and be aware of everything and paying attention and totally in present time. 2 different things. But getting out in nature from time to time, whether it's a way to escape from reality or whether it's a way to, focus on being aware of your surroundings. You go out in nature and you listen to every sound and see what you can pick up. That's amazing. Listen to the sounds. You can hear the rustling of the trees. You can hear a cricket. You can hear, different sounds, birds. Wow, you weren't even thinking about the birds, but now you're listening and you can hear birds. Feel the breeze. Smell the smells. Touch different things in nature. The seashells, the smooth rocks, the leaves. Smell things. Get out in nature from time to time. Very important. Number 11, do something different or change your routine. What I mean here is from time to time, do something different from your normal routine. You got to get out of your rut. You're going to go to work this morning and you think, I'm going to take a different route. I'm going to go to work a different way. Or you may be radical and say, instead of taking a car, I'm going to take the bicycle. Do something radical. Go a different way. You normally have lunch at a certain time. I'm going to have lunch an hour earlier or an hour later. Have and do something different. Maybe you say, I'm going to eat food I've never eaten before today. And if I hate it, it'll be a great experience. Change your daily routine. I remember getting up in the morning. I'd get up at exactly the same time. I'd go to the bathroom first. I'd go and have my glass of water with some lemon. Then I'd do that. Then I'd do this. I had this routine down. And then when I, would get groomed, I would shave and start on the same side of my face every single time. And I noticed that I had this very, very regular routine. Many of you have the same thing. Change it. And make a plan. Tomorrow I'm going to change my routine. Instead of doing this first, I'm going to do this first. And then I'm going to shave on the other side. I'm going to start on the other side first. Change your routine up. Clothes. Some of you have a pattern and a habit.
All right, let's get this call started. There we go. All right, familia, grand rising and happy Tuesday and happy start of November too as well. It's the first day of November. I'm super blessed, super excited, to be on this call with every single person that's here, 240 plus people. And I'm about to go live on IG as well, so the IG family can also get the value. But man, super excited to be here. I was actually just I was looking through my Instagram and I saw one of my not one of my favorite rappers, but man, one of the rappers that I used to look out, listen to, was just passed away. RP Takeoff, man. That was tough to see. Young guy. I noticed he was a Gemini as well. So, that sucks. So my prayers and my condolences goes out to the family, the whole Migos group. Sad that lifestyle, man. That whole that whole rapper lifestyle is wild, man. It's really, really wild. It really is. So it's I don't even know. Yeah, Takeoff from the Migos. Yeah, he was just shot and killed earlier this morning, like 3, 4 in the morning. So it's sad. It's sad. It really is sad. So many rappers that have families um for over a dice game. It's crazy. So, but we pray for them and we pray that they find you know pray they find God, to be honest. Pray that they find God and that they're able to find something else to do, because it's a cruel world out there, especially nowadays with so much envy and so much things happening. We got to be careful. That's why I don't even spend as much time in the streets like I used to. It's honestly it's honestly not even cool anymore, to be honest. So if you guys are out in the streets, for my guys out there, please be careful, man. There's a lot of crazy stuff. The way people act nowadays, the way people are thinking nowadays is just not healthy anymore, fam. So please be careful with that. But I want to start off this call with some gratitude. Let's make sure that we practice some gratitude, honestly, because gratitude is key during these times. And at the end of the day, gratitude is the source where all good things come from. So I'm grateful for God and for God allowing me to wake up this morning, because um, as we see, some people didn't wake up this morning, and it's tough. So, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. I'm grateful for God allowing me to live another day. Grateful for my health, my mind, my body, my spirit. Extremely grateful for my team and the leaders within my organization. I'm grateful for life in general. Grateful for the whole Mornings with Nano community. Grateful for my sis Jasmine and Sana and everything that they do for Mornings with Nano community as well. Grateful for my brother Jacob allowing me to stay at his house here in San Francisco. I love San Francisco. San Francisco is actually one of my favorite cities. If I were to give you guys my top 5 favorite cities in the United States, they will go like this. Obviously, New York is one of my favorite cities. I would say Miami, San Diego. I would say Chicago, and then San Francisco. Those would be like my top 5 right there. I love, and then I also love Scottsdale. So it's hard for me because I love Scottsdale as well. I really, really do like Scottsdale a lot. So I'm excited for this. Atlanta, I like Atlanta. I wouldn't say it's in my top 5. I wouldn't say Dallas or Houston are in my top 5 either. But they're beautiful cities. I love those cities though too. Like they're great, great cities, but not in the top 5. I would say Scottsdale would probably be like number 6. I like Houston a lot. I like ATL as well. You never come to Atlanta. You know what? I've been to Atlanta a lot. I'm actually going to Atlanta in February. I have an event in Atlanta in February. All right, so let's get this call rocking. I'm excited. So I want to talk about something that KT taught, actually. KT taught us something very, very powerful on think it was Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. And he talked about building an indestructible personality. Okay. And having an indestructible personality is so important in business in general. Okay. So building an indestructible personality. Let me move this over here actually better. Having an indestructible personality. And this is so important for business in general, fam, because you see, life is all about, a journey. And when we're on this journey, our personality has a lot to do with everything that we accomplish in life in general. So it's about us building up this indestructible personality that'll help you, get through these times, because what he was explaining was at the convention or at the event was that, life is going to happen. Okay. And if you don't have an indestructible, now if we look up the definition of indestructible, let me see what Google says about indestructible, right? Indestructible, let's look it up. The definition says not able to be destroyed. That's all it is. Indestructible. Okay. Indestructible. So I would want you guys to write that down. Write that down. Indestructible personality. Okay. So indestructible personality, not be able to be destroyed. You can't be destroyed by life. You can't be destroyed by challenges. You can't be destroyed by other people's opinions. You can't be destroyed by, what your family says about you. You have to be indestructible. And he was explaining how the key to, getting to where you want to go to in life is building that through the beginning of your journey. Okay. And a lot of us, if I'm honest, including myself, when I first started this, I really didn't have that indestructible personality. That was something that I had to build over time. Okay. I had to build that indestructible personality over time. But I'd be lying to you guys if I said that I had an indestructible personality from day one when I started. As a matter of fact, I was destructible when I started. I was able, when I started at the beginning, things would really affect me. They would destroy me. Things that happened that I didn't expect, I would allow them to get the best of me. What people said really affected me a lot, and they would destroy me. When my parents would say things to me, when, friends and family close to me, the relationship that I was in at the time as well, I will allow those that, were around me to destroy me with their words, because at the time I really didn't have an indestructible personality. And it was hard for me in the beginning, because you got to understand that we don't come into this with that personality naturally. It's something that we have to develop through the years and through experiences. That's how you develop it. You develop it through the experiences. That's the only real way to develop that indestructible personality. But I had a lot of things around me, especially in the beginning, that really destroyed me. And I feel like a lot of us don't realize this enough, but we have a lot of things in our life right now that are here to destroy us. This is the reason I always, like, when I was coming up in the game, I would always wonder. I'm like, yo, why do people quit so easy? Like, it never made sense why people would quit so easy on the business of network marketing at the beginning. And it would never make any sense to me, because it was like, yo, how is it possible that, this is a business that can free you and your family of, all the curses and all the problems that you're going through, but you're so easy to quit. But you can easily go and work 9 to 5 for 40 to 50 hours a week and never complain once. So that never made any sense to me. And still to this day, it still doesn't make any sense to me, because it just doesn't. It never will for me, honestly. But when I started to think about it, and now that I'm more wiser, and I've been, in the game for longer, I realized that it's because we have life that happens to us, and only very few of us are able to make it through that through that time, only a very few of us are able to take what happens and make the best out of it. Very few people are able to see what's happening and make the best out of it. Most people see what happens, see that life happens, and allow that situation to get the best of them. And it's tough, and I get it because I've been there before. And what I did was I started to realize, and I started to look at the successful people in business and in my industry. And I started to look at the best of the best. I started to look at, Matt Rosa, who's a mentor of mine. I started to look at Alex Morton. And I started to look at all of these individuals, Jason Brown. And I wouldn't look at them when everything was good. Never. Never, ever, ever look at them when everything was good, because I know that I know that you can never determine someone's character when everything is going good. You never determine someone's character when it's all good. You determine someone's character when it's all bad. So when everything was going bad and they were going bad for me as well, I wouldn't be paying attention to what was going on at the moment. I was looking at the way the leaders that I looked up to, the leaders that were leading the way for me. I was looking at, okay, let me see how Matt is dealing with this. Let me see how Alex Morton is dealing with this situation. And I would look at them and I would follow them and I would turn on their post notifications. Literally, I would turn on their post notifications just to see how they were moving. And what I realized was that the successful people, they just kept pushing. As a matter of fact, what I realized was that when things got harder, they went harder. They traveled more. They would study more. They would invest more. They would do more. And then that's when I realized, like, yo, everybody's doing this wrong. Because when things got hard, I saw everybody stop. All my friends stopped. All my leaders would stop. All the people in the business would stop. But I saw them keep going. So I'm like, wait, we're doing this wrong right now. So what I started to do was like, okay, when things get hard, I got to keep going. I got to keep pushing. I got to do more. I got to study more. I got to read more. I got to listen to more audios. I got to do more, 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 more. Because what I realize is that tough times will pass. And at the end of the day, it's all about how developed you are mentally to keep going. And because I paid attention to what the successful people were doing, through time, I realized that I was able to develop that indestructible personality because I saw Matt keep going. As a matter of fact, I've been with Matt when he was going through tough times. I've been at his house, staying at his house. Okay, I was staying at his house when he went through some of the tough times in this business. And I saw how he would still grab that phone and pick it up. I saw how he still jumped on those opportunity calls. I saw how he still woke up and did that morning routine. And I respected him for that. Because most people, when things get hard, they stop making those phone calls. They stop jumping on those trainings. They stop doing those things. But what you realize is that that's when your character is tested most, and that's when you really have to be locked in. So I'm going to go over with you guys how you can develop a indestructible personality, which was one of the things that, KT talked about while I was there this weekend. Okay. Now, I'm going to go over a few points here. So I'm starting the training now, right? I was just kind of giving you guys ideas of, what it was that we did, but how to develop an indestructible personality. Number one is attitude. Okay. Your attitude is in reality, your attitude determines your altitude. Okay. Your attitude will determine your altitude. And what do I mean by your attitude? Your attitude is, who you are. Are you the type of person that, is a go getter? Are you the type of person that wakes up every day and goes after your dreams and wakes up and you're right to your morning routine. You have that positive attitude at all times. You're somebody that no matter what happens, you keep pushing, you keep going. You're always positive, you're always enthusiastic, you're always excited for success. What is your attitude on a day-to-day basis? Your attitude will always determine how high you go. And that is mad important right there, fam. Super important that we all understand that our attitude is the most important part when it comes to this, journey. And just to and I love to do this because I want you guys to understand it on a different level. I like to look up the definition of things, right? So we know the breakdown of it, right? Like we talked about yesterday, what's the depth of vision of it? Okay, so if we look up the definition of attitude, the definition of attitude says a settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something, typically one that is reflected in a person's behavior. So it's a settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something. Right now, we're talking about not a specific someone, we're talking about something, which is our business, the journey that we're on. So it's a settled way of thinking and feeling. What do we mean by settle, though? If we think of the word settle, settle means something that is consistent. So you see, we got to break it down. We got to break down the definition. The definition says it's a settled way of thinking and feeling about something. So a settled way of thinking and feeling, okay? So it has to be a consistent way that we feel and think about our business. That's what it is. So now that we sit down and we think about it, what is our attitude towards our business? What is our attitude towards the journey that we're on? What is the attitude that we have? Do we have positive thinking with positive emotions and enthusiastic, and we're feeling good, we're feeling blessed, we're feeling grateful every single day? Is that your attitude? Or is your attitude one of negativity, doubt, fear, sadness, stress? Because remember, your attitude will determine your altitude, but your attitude can also determine your demise. And this is so important. So think about it. Your attitude can determine your altitude, but your attitude can also determine your demise, which is your downfall. So yes, your attitude can take you to the top, but it can also determine your downfall. And that is very important for all of us to understand. You got to take a look in the mirror right now as I'm talking to you guys about this call, and you got to ask yourself, yo, what is my attitude? Is my attitude a positive one? Is my attitude a grateful one filled with love, one filled with gratitude, one filled with positive emotions? Or is my attitude one of negativity? Is my attitude one of doubt, one of fear, one of insecurities? Because when I started this, my attitude was what led to a lot of my downfalls because I was negative. I would doubt myself. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't have much belief in the business that I was a part of. It was a tough time for me, when I first got started, because remember, I come from the hood. Like when you're from the hood, it's hard for you to have a positive mentality when you grew up around nothing but negative people your whole life. That's what I grew up around. Negativity. Negativity, 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 negativity. That's what I grew up around. I grew up around doubt. I grew up around stress. I grew up around people not believing in themselves. I grew up around people who don't have any faith. So it wasn't that was who I was. It was just that I was a product of my environment at the time. I was a product of the people that I was spending the most time with. The law of association also played a massive part in that as well. Okay. The law of association, you got to think about it. What do they say? You are an average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Well, the people I was spending the most time with weren't the most positive people. They weren't the most, confident people either. They didn't have relationships with God. And it wasn't their fault either. It's not like I'm pointing somebody out and be like, yo, it's their fault. No, it was just what life was at the time. So I end up joining this business, digital entrepreneurship. And in this business, in order for you to be successful and in order for you to have that altitude, you need to change your attitude. And we're talking about, when I joined this business, I was 23 years old. So imagine 23 years of this attitude that had been installed in my mind, the way of thinking, the way I used to speak, the way I used to act, and just this, New York attitude. It was hard for me to join this business and create success for myself. It was hard. It was difficult. Like I said, I'm always going to be honest with you guys, because I never want you guys to think that, oh, I'm jumping on mornings with Nano and Nano's successful and all he talks about is creating success. No, I want you guys to know that I was in your shoes 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I know what it's like to start at the bottom and work my way up. And I know what it's like, and I know what some of you guys are going through right now. I know the challenges that you guys are going through. I know the thoughts that some of you guys are going through. I know the emotions that you guys are going through. And I know how difficult those times can be. But I'm here to relate with you and tell you that I've been there before, and I want you to know that I was able to get out of it. So I am your example. If you want to use me as the example, as if Nano did it, I can do it too. If Nano is this positive, filled with love and gratitude and just an abundant individual now, then if Nano did it, I can do it, because Nano comes from the same neighborhoods as me. Nano came from the same the same humble beginnings as I did. So I want you guys to always remember that. I was a negative person myself. I doubted myself as well. I didn't have belief in myself. I used to be stressed. I used to be overwhelmed all the time. This is so key. My finances. Remember, I never even had a job. I'm glad that, Coach Monique typed that. Yo, all I had was $20 a day for my lunch. I didn't have money growing up. I never had money in this journey. Never, starting off. So I started there. I started with this negative, barely any money, sad, just tough personality. And through time and through the experiences and through learning and through jumping on calls and through reading books, I started to realize that that personality was what was destroying my success. I was never able to create a life for myself because of the attitude that I had. The attitude that I had was destroying my any possibility I had to succeed. It kept getting destroyed. Any kind of, when you start to feel good and you're like, yo, things are about to start working my way, and then something happens and it destroys that even that little bit of confidence that you were getting. It's your attitude. Your attitude destroys any possibilities of success if you don't change it completely. If you got to change it completely. So that's what I did. I worked on it every day, and that's when I tell you guys, this is why I'm so hard on you guys, and this is something that you will probably hear on every call that I do. My morning routine changed everything for me. My morning routine changed my attitude. I went from being a kid that was on the streets of New York City, staying up late, smoking weed all the time, negative, hanging around friends, this, that. I went from that person who didn't believe in himself, who had lack of confidence, doing all of those things, to think about that. That was my attitude. And I changed this slowly with a morning routine. And what the morning routine did, think about it. Every day I would wake up and I started to pray. I started to practice gratitude. Just with those two things every morning, I started to build a relationship with God, which I didn't have before. And I started to be a more grateful person instead of somebody that complains all the time. Okay. Then I started to meditate. That made me more mindful. Then I started to read. That made me more knowledgeable. Then I started to write my goals down. That gave me more vision. Then I started to work out more. That gave me more confidence. Then I started to do mornings with Nano. That made me more fulfilled and more happy. And then that became my attitude because I've done it long enough. So you see how that all worked out? So when I was this person, when I was living in the hood, thinking about it, right? When I was hanging out with friends, I was hanging out with people that were not confident, don't believe in themselves, all of these things. Okay. I was in the streets. I was struggling financially. So my confidence level was low as can be. Okay. I was struggling financially. My business was not growing. I sucked at business. Everything was like completely different. And then once I started that morning routine, yes, I was still struggling financially, but now I was more positive. Now I had more faith. Now I had more belief that my times were going to come because it wasn't like, and I want you to all understand this because I know that this is something that people need to understand. Okay. Just because I had started my morning routine didn't mean that I was financially abundant right away. As a matter of fact, it took me at least 6 months to 8 months after I started my morning routine to actually start being more confident about my finances. About 8 months, I would say, after I started a morning routine. So, but guess what? The thing was that changed though was that I had belief now. I had faith. I had knowledge. I had understanding. I was happier. I was fulfilling my purpose. And I understood things on a different level now. So my attitude had changed. Okay. The attitude has to change, and then the money will follow, the success will follow. You don't get the money and get the success and then change your attitude. You change the attitude first, and then you got to prove that you've changed it through time and through experiences, and then you'll get what you want. So that's something that's important for all of us to hear, for all of us to understand. And this is so important. Okay. And the reason why I'm talking about attitude for so long, and I shouldn't, because I have a few more points that I want to cover, but the attitude is the key. And if I were to tell you guys what changed my attitude, I have one answer for you. It was my morning routines that changed it for me. It was me waking up every morning, praying, practicing gratitude, reading my goal card, walking to the park, spending time in nature, reading those books, listening to those audios, meditating, visualizing my goals, affirmations. I am successful. I am wealthy. I am abundant. I am a millionaire. Nano, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, bro. You did it. Celebrating my success, changing who I was. I do believe in myself. I am going to break the generational curses in my family. I am going to create generational wealth for all the generations coming behind me. I started to do it. I started to wake up earlier than everybody. I started to stay up later than everybody. I started to work harder than everybody. And I did that long enough until my attitude changed. And now I can't, even if I wanted to, I can't go back to being the Nano from 5 years ago, even if I wanted to, because this is me now. This is who I am. I'm a positive, light, abundant, always positive, always thinking in amazing terms, abundance, grateful, God-centered. But it was because of my morning routine. That's why I be telling you guys, yo, if you don't do your morning routine, you're playing with fire. I tell people all the time, like, yo, that you not doing your morning routine is more costly than anything else. It's more costly than anything else that you don't do throughout the day. I used to tell people this all the time. Yo, there were days that I would forget to trade. There were days that I forgot to study. There were days that I wouldn't jump on calls. There were days that I wouldn't prospect and build my business. There were days that I didn't post on social medias. But you know what's one thing I always did? I always did my morning routine. Always. That's the true facts. Because I knew that that was the main key right there. That was what I needed coming from where I'm from. Now, if you already have success and you already created success for yourself, then that's a completely different story. But coming from where I'm from, coming from the humble beginnings, from the environment that I came from, the only way that I could change my attitude that I knew that I could do consistently every single day was that morning routine. Yo, and it changed my life. So if you're slipping up on that morning routine, I'm telling you, you're doing yourself a big disservice, a huge disservice. The biggest disservice that you're doing yourself every day is not doing your morning routine. That is probably what's destroying you and destroying the success that you could possibly create for yourself more than anything else. Is your inability to do your routine. I could keep talking about attitude, but we're not going to do that anymore. But if you understand number one, type a one in the chat box if you understand the importance of attitude. Okay, because attitude is everything. It really is. Attitude is everything. It is everything that you need to be successful. If you don't have attitude, you will not succeed in business, in life, in nothing. In nothing. It's impossible. So that's the first way to develop, okay, an indestructible personality. Okay. Next one, number two, is determination. Number two is determination. Now, determination is key because if we look up the definition of determination, determination says is a positive emotional feeling that involves persevering towards a difficult goal in spite of obstacles. Determination. Determination is a positive emotional feeling that involves persevering towards a difficult goal in spite of obstacles. You got to have determination. And that's the truth. If we listen to the definition one more time, a positive emotional feeling, in reality, attitude and determination are not similar, but they go hand in hand because in order for you to have determination, you got to have a good attitude. So without attitude, you can't have you can't even have determination actually because you need attitude. So this goes hand in hand. So you need attitude, number one. Number two, you need determination because you need that positive emotional feeling that involves persevering towards difficult goals in spite of obstacles. So even though you're going to go through things, you're going to keep a positive emotional feeling. This is where we all sometimes fail. Is that when the obstacles come, which they are, if there's one thing that's guaranteed in this journey, is that the obstacles are going to come. They're going to come 100%. There's no doubt about it that the obstacles, the challenges, the failures are going to be there. But the thing is that when they come, we don't have that positive emotional feeling that it says about determination. We actually have a negative emotional feeling. So in reality, we don't have determination because if we allow the obstacles that happen in our lives to make us feel negative, then we don't have determination. Because remember what he said, it's about having that positive emotional feeling to be able to persevere through the challenges and the obstacles that life throws at us. So let me give you an example that KT gave. Okay. This is an example that KT gave at the event, right? So he gave this example and I loved it. It was awesome, right? So he gave an example of a lady who, was trying to check into a hotel. Okay. And there's this lady who is, she showed up to an event, she showed up to a convention and she wasn't able to get a room because unfortunately, you know, rooms were filled up, and they sold out all the rooms. And when she showed up, she's like, wait, but I have a reservation, and I have a reservation. And what do you mean you guys have no room? And, they were apologizing, and they were telling her like, yo, unfortunately all rooms have been sold out. We apologize about that. And she made a huge deal out of it. She was, cursing people out. She was super negative about it. She made a whole big deal. And, her husband was telling her like, yo, we can just get another room. But she was still like so negative about it. She was just like, no, this and that. And she ended up not even going to the event. She ended up not even, she said, no, I'm leaving, like I'm out of here, like I'm gone, like I don't even want to go to this event anymore. So she decided that because she wasn't able to get a room, okay, she ended up leaving. She said, you know what? I'm done with this. Like she had a very negative attitude, and a very negative just attitude in general towards the whole entire situation, because she wasn't able to get a room. And then he gave the example of a successful leader that the same situation happened to. And the situation goes as such, right? There was actually one of the speakers that was going to be speaking at the event. Listen to this. One of the speakers that were going to be speaking at the event, they also showed up to the hotel. And when they showed up to the hotel doesn't know that this is one of our speakers that's going to be speaking at the event. They're treating everybody with the same level of respect, and they're not giving anybody like any preference or anything. So the same leader shows up, and he was also left out of a room. They told him, hey, all rooms have been sold out. Unfortunately, we don't understand, we don't know what happened, but all rooms have been sold out and given to other people. We don't have a room for you tonight. But mind you, this is one of our speakers that's going to be speaking the next day. But this speaker, instead of having a negative attitude towards the situation, he just said, thank you so much. I understand. I appreciate you guys so much for, communicating with me that there won't be any rooms for me. And the speaker actually ends up, and this is how the story goes. The speaker ends up going the next day, has a phenomenal speech, the next day. And, KT asks him, because, and look at how life works. KT was actually in the lobby when it happened. Okay. And they end up asking the guy, like, yo, where'd you end up sleeping? And you know what the guy said? He said, nah, man, I slept in my car in front of the hotel. So the guy ended up sleeping in the car in front of his hotel and had a phenomenal speech the next day. But why was it? Because he had the right attitude. So you see how that works? One person showed up, and had bad determination. They had the negative attitude. They had a negative feeling towards certain situations. They allowed that one situation to destroy them, to literally take them away from the event, and they wanted to leave. But then this one person, and that's the reason, and if you pay attention, it was a speaker, and he was already successful. So you can see what successful people do. The successful person was put in the same circumstances, okay? But this one, instead, he said, you know what? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I understand what's going on here. I'm going to sleep in my car. I'm going to wake up tomorrow, and I'm going to kill my event. So in the face of obstacles, in the face of challenges, guess what he did? He stayed positive. What the lady did in face of obstacles and challenges was she was negative, and she had a bad attitude towards it. We want to be the guy that had the positive attitude, that even though in face of circumstances, he was positive, he remained in peace, he understood what was going on, and he didn't let it defeat him. So for all of us on this call, because I know all of us are dealing with some kind of challenges or obstacles in our life right now. What is your feeling towards what you're going through right now? Are you positive about everything that's going on right now? Are you being grateful for everything that's going on in your life right now? Are you excited about everything that's going on in your life right now? Are you in love with it? Are you that's the question. Because I trust me, I know we all going through some obstacles in some kind of shape, way, or form. We all got obstacles going on in our life right now. Every single one of us. But what is your attitude about it? Are you feeling good about it? Are you positive about it? Are you practicing gratitude? Are you praying more? Are you still doing your morning routine every day? Somebody asked a great question in the chat. Somebody said, Nano, I have a question. How can we keep positive when we feel like we don't have much energy? Well, it's hard to keep positive when you don't have energy. So what we need to do is we need to get you energy. How do we get energy? Morning routine. Do your morning routine. If you start doing your morning routine would increase your energy. Let that increase your energy. Charge yourself up. Take time to yourself. Lack of energy comes from lack of pouring into yourself, lack of taking time for yourself. Okay. So the morning routine fills you up. It gives you the energy that you need, the food that you eat. And then now you can have the energy to be positive. It's so important. It's so important, fam. So number 2 was determination. It's key. And determination is thriving in the challenges, thriving in the face of adversity, being able to put yourself in a position where no matter what happens, you're going to push. Remember, we are talking about developing an indestructible personality. How do you develop an indestructible personality? You got to have attitude and you got to be determined. That is so important. So important. And these are the things that sometimes we tend to lack, and we got to develop it, because that's the only way. That's the only way, guys, seriously, to make it in this journey. You got to develop that personality. Now that I look back and I'm 5 years into my entrepreneurship journey, I can tell you guys truthfully that one of the reasons why I've been able to create the success that I have today is because of my indestructible personality. Now, I didn't have it from day one. It took me years to develop. But I can tell you guys positively, and I can tell you guys 1000% that the reason why I have the success that I have today is because of my indestructible personality. Truthfully, you can't destroy me. You can't destroy me. I'm here. I'm strong. And even if you try to destroy me, and even if you feel like you could, guess what I'll do? I'll stay positive, I'll get stronger, and then we'll fight again. Even if you could. Because, we win some and we lose some. And that's life. But if you destroy me, guess what? I'm not going to quit. I'll get back up. I'll develop myself again. I'll go and read more books. I'll go and listen to more audios. I'll go and pour into myself even more. I'll make myself stronger, and then I'll come back to fight you again. And if you beat me again, cool. I'll go down. I'll get back up. I'll develop myself again. I'll work out more. I'll read more. I'll do more mentorship, whatever it is. And then I'll come back and I'll fight you again until I beat you. But you're not going to destroy me fully. You may destroy me temporarily. I may lose the battle a few times, but I'll always win the war at the end. That's the kind of energy you need to have when it comes to this. That's the kind of energy we all need to develop. That's the attitude right there. That no matter how many times I'm knocked down, I'm up again. You know how many businesses I've had to rebuild? How many leaders have left the business and I've had to find new ones, just like on the basketball court. Facts. Big facts. It's every day. It's every day. And yo, I'm telling you guys, in this journey, yo, they're gonna want to do everything to destroy you. You know why? Because nobody wants to see you win. Remember what I always teach you guys. People want to see you do good, but never better than them. Society doesn't even want to see you do good. Some of your own family don't even want to see you do good. The government doesn't want to see you do good. It's all control. It's all control. They want to see you live an average life, work 9 to 5 your whole life, depend on them their whole life. That's what they want. Control. They don't want people to wake up. They don't want people to know this stuff. The whole system is designed for us to be workers, not thinkers. Am I the only one that sees this, or is everybody blind? Do you guys not see what's really happening? Like, I don't even like talking about this too much, but do you guys not see it? Or like, are you guys blind for real? Are you guys still wondering, like, this is the truth? Like, the whole system is messed up. They're still working the same system from 100 years ago. It's the same system from 100 years ago. We're still in the same exact system. Make people depend on the system. And the reason why things are changing so much is because more people are waking up. Have you guys realized how more people are waking up now? And in reality, all of these things that are happening is because in reality, let me be real with you guys, they're losing control. And the thing is that because they're losing control, they got to find ways to control again. You see that whole, I'm not going to say the word, but the vid, all of that, that was all to see how much control they actually have. Who actually was going to go and do and take the V's, and that was all a test of control. Let's see how many people we can actually control. Let's see how many people we actually are still able to control. But that's a conversation for another day. Those are like woke talks and all of that stuff. But this is important stuff, man. We have to wake more people up. We need to know, we need to make so many more people aware of what's going on, because the more we wake up, the less control they have. Less control they have. We have all the control because we can create the reality that we want. We can create the reality that we want. So how is it that someone else out there that we don't even know has more control over our life than we have control over our own life? That can't be. Come on, man. We gotta know better. And remember, it's not our fault. We've been designed to think this way. We've been designed to have these attitudes. We've been programmed like this. But the same way we were programmed to think like this, same way we can change it. And the thing is, it's hard to change because by the time that we become aware, it's already 20 years in. Like, think about it. Then, yeah, like, 24, 25 years in was when I finally realized that I was in a system. So for 25 years, I was programmed the wrong way. For some people don't wake up till they're 30, 35, 40. Like, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's difficult. It's difficult to tell somebody. That's why, it's sometimes difficult to even get people to believe that certain things are possible because they've been thinking a certain way for 20, 30, 40 years. And let me tell you guys something, and this is the unfortunate truth. Some people won't make it, man. They're not. And that's the unfortunate truth. And it's not their fault. It's not. It's not their fault. I wish I could take everybody with me. Not everybody's going to make it. It breaks my heart because I know that everybody could make it. But the thing is that the programming has been installed so deep. That program is so deep that they can't see it anymore. That's it. It's over. It's over for some people. It's over. But anybody at any time of their life by a decision can change. It doesn't matter what age. At any point, they can change. At any point. Even the people that we don't think can make it, at any point, if they make a decision to change, they can change. But there's just some that don't want to make the change. But if you are in your later years, 30s, 40s, 50s, and you're on these calls, yeah, I got so much respect for you because you're gonna change. It's never too late to change. You could be a 57-year-old millionaire. Why not? That can happen for you. It's not your fault. You know what? All you can do now is prepare yourself to live the rest of your life beautifully and set up your generations to come. Shamai 47, let's go, sis. You got it. You good. Come on, sis. You could be a multimillionaire before you 50. That's it. You served your purpose. You put your family in position. The whole Shamai family is in position for the rest of their lives because of the decisions that you made for the next 3 years. Eunice, 52. Before you're 60, nah, sis, before you 55. Let's make it happen in the next 3 years. Before you're 55, we're going to do it. What you mean 60? 67 years from now. Nah, we need that before you're 55. Before you're 55, my sis, Eunice, multimillionaire. Purpose served. That's how you got to think. And then for my youngins on this call, I want you to be grateful that you're in the position that you're in. Some people on this call are 20 years old, 21 years old. Anybody on this call younger than 20 years old? Anyone on this call? Okay. Anyone on this call younger than 20 years old? Look, someone on this call is 17. Xavier is 19. Kamel is 18. Gabriel's 22. Look at this stuff. Guys, you guys are, look, Jennifer, 19. I actually had a dream with you, Jennifer. So funny. Jennifer, 19. Somebody said 12. I don't know if that's true. 18, 18, 19. 19. Look, 18. Yo, if you guys are this age, you guys are really, really good. You know, you guys are in an age where you don't have these. You don't have these. Thank you so much. You have this right now at this time. You don't have much programming. You know, you didn't have to wait till, you know, using my sis Eunice as an example, till 52 to realize this. You see what I'm saying? You didn't have to wait till, 40 to realize this. You know this now. You know this now, and you have an opportunity now to, by the time you get to those ages, to be multimillionaire. Because if you were to ask any of these individuals that are on this call that are a little bit older, even myself, I'm 28, and I'm like, man, I wish I knew this at 18, 19 years old. My sis Jennifer, one of my favorite people in the world, I've been mentoring her since she was 17, 18 years old. I wish I would have known the information that I'm teaching her at that age. When I wish I could go back 10 years to when I was 18 and 19 to learn this. So that's why we got to take advantage of the access that we have is so important. We got to take access. We got to take advantage of this. This is not a time to play. This is a times of development. Every day we got to work on developing ourselves to the best of our abilities, day in and day out. Okay. So, last thing, okay, how to develop an indestructible personality. Number one, attitude. Number two, determination. Okay, this is very, very important. Attitude, determination. We said attitude is key. We spoke a lot about attitude. We talked about determination, which is also very, very, very key. Okay. And then the last one, and I would say this one is very important as well, is you got to have God in your corner. You got to have a connection with your creator, because you got to have spiritual protection. You got to have spiritual protection. Yes, attitude and determination is physical, but where's your spiritual protection at? And low key, CJ, that should be first. But the beautiful thing about it is that you got to have that, because there's nothing better than having a connection with God. Nothing better. I promise you that. And I left this one for last because I wanted to make sure that I didn't want to talk about it too deeply, but I wanted all of you guys to understand how important it is. Because if you don't have that relationship, if you don't have that connection, if you don't have that protection from the Most High, it gets hard, man. It gets hard. My connection with the Most High has allowed me to really live a phenomenal life over the last few years. And I didn't always have that connection, though. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't always have it. I didn't really start building it till a few years ago. But you got to understand that that one is key. Because you know what? In this journey, you're going to face a lot of spiritual warfare. A lot. Lot of spiritual warfare. Lot of spiritual warfare. And it'll be impossible for you to even find peace or any fulfillment if you don't have a relationship with God. Because like I always teach people, I always tell people, look, there's a void inside of us that there's only one person that can fill it up. Only one person. And that person is God. You can't have this life of your dreams if you don't have that relationship, if you don't have that connection, if you're not connected spiritually. And if I'm honest with you guys, one of the reasons why I have this indestructible personality is because of my relationship with God. Truthfully. And I know some people on this call, sometimes people don't believe and you don't have that connection, and it's something that, it's a tricky topic for some. But I promise you, if you actually take the time to look into this stuff, and I'm not here to talk about religion in general. I'm not here to talk about religion. I'm not really too religious in general. I just have a relationship with my creator. I know that there is a higher power that is guiding me through this journey and who's been there with me through this journey. Okay. And at the end of the day, I know that there's a higher power there with me through this whole entire time. It's not that I'm Muslim, Christian, Catholic, all of this stuff. None of that. I just have a relationship with God. That's all it is. I have a relationship with my creator. That's all it is. That's what people they know what religion you follow. I just have a relationship with God. That's all. I don't follow any religion. I don't follow any specific, and it's not that I have anything against them. I don't have anything against them. I understand them 100%. I get it. It's culture. But all I know is relationship. That's all I know. All I know is my relationship. I don't know left or right. In my opinion, I think religion was created to separate us. We're all one. We're all his children. I think, in my opinion, that was created to separate us. I don't want to get into that. But, my thing is I'm here with him. So that has allowed me to develop an incredible, indestructible personality of my life. And that personality has allowed me to create the success that I have today, fam. So those are the three things that will help you create a indestructible personality: attitude, determination, and a relationship with your creator. And that relationship with your creator is so key because you're going to face a lot of spiritual warfare. Because remember, 90 to 99% of your success is spiritual. Only 10% of it is physical. So you need that relationship because the 90% of it is spiritual. Only 10% of it is physical. All right, fam. So with that being said, that wraps up today's call. If you guys got value from those three keys to developing that indestructible personality, put a 3 in the chat box if you guys got value from those three keys on developing the indestructible personality. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you guys so much. So that wraps up today's call right there, fam. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. I hope you guys got value, and I hope that I'm giving you guys perspective on life, on just the attitude that you need to have in order for you to make it. And this is simple stuff that, it's funny because when I sit down and think about it, I'm like, yo, these are stuff that some of you guys already know. I didn't say anything today that I haven't taught you guys in the past. In reality, if you really sit down and think about it, we've talked about attitude before, we've talked about determination, and we've talked about building a relationship with God already multiple times this year. So it's not that we don't know this stuff, right? We know this information, but do we really know? Like I talked about yesterday, do we really know though? We know about we know about attitude. We know about determination. We know about building a relationship with God. We know about this stuff. But do we really know? No, 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 no. That's the key. Okay, it's about that depth of vision, family. So thank you guys so much. Love you guys so much. Follow me on Instagram if you guys don't follow me at Long Live Nano. Please be careful of any fake pages that are out there. We also have my Mornings with Nano page as well. That is amazing. Jasmine is doing a phenomenal job of it. It's going great. If you haven't got your Mornings with Nano journal yet, please do. This Mornings with Nano journal is super dope. A lot of people are really enjoying it and everything that, it's bringing them when it comes to trainings, when it comes to keeping everything organized, when it comes to all of it. You can actually get it on Amazon. I dropped the link right there in the chat box. You can get it for less than $25. Super affordable for everybody to grab it. And that's about it, fam. I'm gonna do a quick prayer for us, and we are out of here, fam. So, quick prayer, and we out of here. Let's do it. Everybody, bow your heads and let's pray. Father God, thank you so much for waking us up on this beautiful Tuesday morning. We are so thankful to have access to the information that you continue to give us access to. And the topic that we spoke about today was just such a powerful one because developing that indestructible personality is really what we need in order for us to get to where we want to go to. And when we think about you and when we think about what you've been able to create and what you did for us before your time came, you had the most indestructible personality of them all. You persevered through the tough times. You stayed positive through the times when everybody else went negative, and you believed and you had faith when it all went south. And you were a great example of who we want to be and who we need to develop ourselves to be. And I think that is so important for us to have an example for us to follow. So thank you for all the sacrifices you made. Thank you for the times that you got knocked down and you got back up regardless of how hard it was. Thank you for just always being there for us through the good times and through the bad, because there's no better leader, there's no better person in the world that we would rather follow than you, God. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And we ask that you give us the strength. We ask that you give us the determination, the attitudes, the positivity, and that you open your arms up for that relationship for us to come in there and we can start to build that indestructible personality each and every single day. And for anyone that needs any kind of healing from any negativity, from any doubt, from any fears, I pray that you put your hand over them and you heal them of those feelings and you bring them over here to the positive side so they can grow and we can start to build that indestructible personality, Father. So thank you so much for everything, for the guidance, for the wisdom, for the protection, for all that you do for us each and every single day. We appreciate you to the moon and back. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. 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 Let's go. Amen. That was awesome. That was amazing. What a phenomenal call. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to jump on today's call. I hope you guys all got a lot of value from everything that I spoke about today when it comes to attitude, when it comes to determination, when it comes to even the stories that I shared, when it comes to relating back to me and everything. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. That was definitely a fire prayer. It is November to remember. Let's make this month one to remember. Let's push. Let's do things that we've never done so we can get things that we've never had. And let's go out there and have a phenomenal day. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Mornings with Nano for another episode of it. Let's go.